That's another great question. When I do any of these stunts, I work without a net, a safety wire, or any safeties. The safety is in the training. The safety is the long preparation. There's two things. One, a safety can provide a false sense of security. If you start to lose your balance, you won't fight to maintain balance, or you might not fight to catch on. You might think, well, I'm going to fall and the net will catch me. Sometimes the net or airbag may not do what it's supposed to do. The safety may not do what it's supposed to do. Or sometimes it's not there. Where I perform, it's usually too high for a net or an airbag. It will do no good, because anything over 100 feet, a net or an airbag is not designed for. And anything under 100 feet, 150 feet, and I've always done what I said I'm going to do. There's a balance there. And so what that challenge is how many stunts can I do in the shortest amount of time? We live in an ADD world. We live in a world where people want that now. Did you get the email? Did you get my text? Get my phone call? We want it now. Print it. Do it. Well, I live in that world, in my brain and in my life. Well, I've prepared for the opportunity of a lifetime, meeting Neil Mant and Mant Brothers, who I would love to tell you more about in a second. These are the people that brought you, if you know it or not, they brought India to the world. These are the people, Neil Mant and his brother, Mant Brothers, brought Last Stop for Charlie, Last Stop for Paul, $1 Million Arm.
$1 Million Arm is our India project. We had a film that's out right now from Disney called $1 Million Arm, and it's a true story about Indian baseball players.
Yeah, so they actually represented your country to the world. Millions of people have seen it, but it also helps stimulate the economy here and tourism. And that's what we're that's one part of what we're pursuing, of what we're wanting to do here. It's got to be a win-win-win situation. It's got to be just as good for you as it is for us. But about the stunts, the ultimate on August 30th will be the single hardest task, feat, or stunt that a human being has ever tried. Because usually you can gear up and wear gear for one stunt. No safety, no net, no line. You can't wear these big football pads or big pads if you're going to get shot out of a cannon or be agile and climb a pole. So every time you do one more stunt, it negates the gear that you need to wear. So it makes it so dangerous and so difficult. If you look at the statistics of some of the things, there have been 24 people that have got shot out of a cannon, and 12 of them have been successful. And by successful, we say they haven't lost their life doing it. Doesn't mean they didn't get hurt. So now that's just one of the elements. And in that element, I'm going to fly over a helicopter. And that's just one element of the 15.
Next question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you said he doesn't use any tattoos or piercing as a branding. What about the hairs?
The hair has been Bello's hair for a very long time. I'll let Bello chime in on that one.
To make clear, he didn't say tattoos or piercings as a branding. It's just something that I have not done. I've never tried drugs. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Happily married for 10 years. Well, I've been married for 26 years, but I've been happily married for 10. She doesn't like that joke. The hair is something that I'd like to share this with you. It's, I think, very important. When I was 11 years old, I was in a water ski stunt show at SeaWorld of Orlando and Cypress Gardens. So I was doing a water ski stunt show. I was 11 years old, and I was working with about 30 other stuntmen or daredevils. They were all about 18 to 30 years old. And they all got short haircuts because it looks good in and out of the water doing stunts. Well, I wanted to be like them if I was going to work with them. I got a crew cut. I'm very fair-skinned, so a half hour out in the sun, I get a sunburn. I've never tanned in my life. Well, I sunburned the top of my head. Means you don't want to touch it, right? So a week later, I was like, just better leave it. 2 weeks later, my hair is growing a little bit. Oh, it's standing up. A couple weeks later, it is about that tall. And I'm in entertainment. I'm also a kid who loves attention. Look at me. I always have been like that. Well, people started looking at me, and entertainment is not a bad thing. it is when you're a naughty kid and you say, it wasn't me. Oh, it must have been the other kid with foot-tall hair, red. So, at my wedding, I wore my hair like this. My dad's funeral, I wear my hair like this. When my kids were born, the first thing they saw was a man with hair like this. I have worn my hair like this every day, even if I'm not performing, if I go shot a made-up name. It is my birth, one of my birth-given real names. So what you see is what you get. I would venture to say I'm the ultimate reality show.
Yes, next question.
Where is that? How do you learn this? Or if you ask any question, almost everywhere else in the world, people will say, well, it's our tradition. You say, why? They say, I don't know. Well, here, if you ask someone, what about a tradition, they'll know it. You have very strong beliefs, but you also have a deep culture, but you also have a history that you know about. It's an educated history. And that's something I'm excited to learn more about.
Bello here. Are you passing on your talent with your family members or your friends?
Am I?
Your talent, are you passing on to somebody else, or you have been training somebody else for this kind of talent?
Yes, I am. In Florida, we have a place that is called the Funny Farm, and it's a training center for other daredevils. Like I said, I trained the guy who walked over the Grand Canyon. Once a year for 3 days to a week, I train the NBA mascots, people who are in those costumes that are alongside a lot of the great NBA stars and need to be that physical, but they also need to have comedy. So I also train at circus schools. There's 2 different circus schools that I train at, most of the time to no benefit of my own. I've created apparatuses for other shows. I've created shows and apparatuses for other theme park shows. Universal Studios Japan, Disney, SeaWorld. So a lot of different shows out there. I'm able to even provide some of the talents and train people for either the TV shows and stuff like that. So I don't know if you can tell, but we're both very passionate people, and we love sharing what we do.
Any member of your family?
Yes. Every member of my family is in the entertainment industry. Not all of them walk wires or are in the spotlight. My youngest daughter follows in my footsteps on the high wire. She's learning and does death-defying stuff. The older 2 kids are in the business, but they're more in the technology and the technical side to assist and aid. And in their pursuit, that makes them happy.
Bello, who is your favorite action actor from India?
It's really, that is hard. It's hard to put the name with the place, but there is this great actor that you guys will have to help me with his name. He has big hair and a mustache. He's always standing in the wind with the hair flowing, and he does a lot of his own stunts. That's it. Yeah. So, to me, there's so much that I see so much that we have in common, because he's able to do his own stunts. Now, I can clearly see most of the Bollywood movies suspend belief for a while. They're larger than life, but they suspend belief because when you're flying in the air, there's that slow motion. All of their work, when they say they do their own stunts, it's still with wires, and it's still on a crane. I know what it takes. I know what it's like to wake up in the morning sore from moving your body in those positions. The only difference is there's no cable holding me up when I do it. Gravity works all the time. So although I'm interested to meet a lot of these people and meet them, and also share a lot of what we do together, I'm also interested in working with them in any capacity.
Eric, let's show a video.
Given a choice, I hope you can name somebody from Bollywood whom is your favorite is. Any actor who's the favorite of yours?
You'll have to help me. The name of, because yeah, that's what I was saying. You guys would have to help me with the name of this gentleman. It's Akshay Umar. Yeah. Okay, yes. So
I
we
want
have
to
a
show
lot
another
in
video really
common.
quickly.
Akshay Kumar.
Eric, can you press play, please? I'm going to skip ahead. Can you skip ahead like 3/4 of the way through it, Eric?
Bello,
There
can you describe
is
for us
about to
what right
tweet
now, just walking
him.
over that cable is like?
Yeah, it's you try to focus on that cable with all these seats underneath me, all the same color and so beautiful in a row. They sort of look like when you see a zebra run or fish swim, a whole school of fish. It's sort of
Bought shoes. There's nothing special about them. That's why I say no safety, no just diligent hard work and focus.
Hey Bello, I know in New York we were allowing people to ask you questions on Twitter. A lot of people are tuning in right now. We actually have just seen a tweet.
The reason you never saw it before because it's never happened before. That's the first time that's ever happened in history. So that's the kind of things that Bello can do. And so, next question.
In Mumbai on Wally ceiling?
Well, let me tell you, I would love to be able to do something. I would love to be able to walk up the furthest outer cable of the Bandra Varley sea-link bridge, walk up that incline cable, walk a cable across the top of it, and also down it. I love the name that it's a sea-link bridge. I love the fact that we would be able to entertain everyone that could get to it, because the vista, the view from that could be seen by so many people for free. It could be televised here, it could be used for something for your purposes, but also it could be on the internet and shown to the entire world and do what Mann Brothers has done before, whether you know it or not, and help show how beautiful your country is and stimulate tourism here. And it would be seen, hopefully, around the world.
Next question.
Do you have some plan? Did you have a word with the